Holy 15-hour potatoes. Hi, I'm Liv, and welcome to the Leopard Lodge. In an effort to stay on trend, I've decided to start a new and potentially ongoing series here on my channel that may be popping up now and again, trying recipes from TikTok. This is what it's called. Now, what I have gleaned from watching hours upon hours upon hours of TikTok is that all of the food recipes seem to fall into one of three categories. It's either super low carb, low fat, whatever, healthy shit. Super easy, quick, fast, feed yourself shit. Or like super decadent as Sorry, there's going to be a lot of swearing in this video. Food makes me very passionate. And as you might have guessed from the title of this video, today we are going the decadent route. These potatoes have taken the internet by storm. The first time I saw them, I think I thought I was looking at pastry dough, but also I feel like I thought they were fake. I was like, who in their right mind is going to go through all of the trouble, peel all these potatoes, and thinly slice these potatoes, and individually layer these potatoes, and let them sit overnight, and then cut the potatoes and fry the potatoes. It just seemed absolutely insane to me. But here we are. This is what we're doing. These potatoes, why do I keep saying potatoes like that? Potato. Do I always say potato like that with the O? Why do I keep saying O? Potato. Moving on. These potatoes are not for the faint of heart. They do take about 15 hours to make, but I do think the name is misleading because most of that time is downtime where you're not actually doing anything with them. You can easily be just living your life while the potatoes are working their magic. So maybe calling this confit is a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going to maintain my argument. Confit is any type of food that is cooked slowly over a long period of time as a method of preservation. The potatoes do cook at a low temperature in oil in the oven for 3 hours. I really hemmed and hawed at the grocery store if I was going to go through with purchasing that fat. It's not that it's wildly more expensive than other oils, it just seems like such a luxury item, but it really felt like a go big or go home moment. I think a great substitute for this, if you're vegetarian, would be clarified butter, or even if you want it to be vegan, you could use avocado oil or refined coconut oil. I would avoid using olive oil because it has a really low smoke point, and we are going to be kicking up the heat later on. In a saucepan, combine roughly 3/4 of a cup to a cup of your oil of choice. Honestly, I didn't measure, but that's what it looked like. Pop in some aromatics. We've got some rosemary, some thyme, a couple cloves of smashed garlic, salt, white pepper, keep it smooth. Got a little flecks of black pepper in there. And it, while we're hemorrhaging money into these potatoes, might as well toss some saffron in there too. Leave this all to steep on a very low setting for as long as you possibly can, or at least as long as it takes you to do the next task. In the meantime, procure a large quantity of Yukon Gold potatoes. Do not let me catch you using russet potatoes for this. Do not waste your time if you're going to do that. You want that creamy potato. And yes, you guessed it. Now we're going to peel all of these potatoes. Got the biggest ones that I could because there was less surface area to peel. I think most recipes I saw called for 6, but I went for 10 because as long as I was going through the trouble to make 15-hour potatoes, I might as well make enough to share with some friends. Now we need to get the potatoes into perfectly uniform thin slices. You're going to want a mandolin for this. If you do not own a mandolin, you are living your life wrong. I strongly suggest getting one. They are not very expensive and they are very useful. Definitely get the kind that you can adjust the thickness on. I actually don't have one of those, but it's currently on my eBay saved list. I just have this one that I'm doing here. But it does have a little tray that catches stuff, which is nice. Ideally, I would want one that does both of those things. You can do this with a knife, but it's gonna be pretty tedious. You want these to be about 1/8 of an inch thick, I would guess. I'm bad at guesstimating that. And of course, as uniform as possible. So get a mandolin. Nowhere in any video or recipe did it say to pat down the potato slices, but it seemed like the right thing to do. It was difficult for me not to get too into my head and make changes based on things I know about cooking, but I did my best to not stray and stay as true to the TikToks as possible, besides this and one other thing. I strained my seasoned duck fat into the bowl of slices and added more salt, of course. I mean, we seasoned the oil, but we didn't season the potatoes. If I were to try this recipe again, I might try chopping all of the aromatics up super finely and not straining them out of the oil. And I think that their flavors would impart much better. But I was really going for just a super smooth, beautiful, layered situation. And straining it just seemed like the correct move. If you haven't run away screaming yet from the amount of work this is, the next part might take you there. Grab a baking dish, ideally one that fits another baking dish perfectly inside. More on that later. Line with parchment paper all the way up the sides. With your potatoes well mixed and evenly coated, begin individually layering slices into the dish. Yes, individual. I decided to put a small sprinkle of cornstarch in between each layer. I thought it might help everything stay together better in the frying process later on. And you just keep layering and layering and layering and layering until one day you finally run out of potatoes. Cover with another piece of parchment paper and cook in the oven for 3 hours at 250 degrees. Leave it out to cool and then place the aforementioned second baking tray inside. You really want something that can nest perfectly, and then weigh this all down with whatever you've got. This goes into the refrigerator for 12 hours, they say. I think anything in that ballpark will be just fine. And when the wait is finally over, or just like when you wake up the next day, pop that potato loaf out onto a cutting board. It may take some coaxing with a hot towel. And from here you can can slice it up however you would like. I have a sneaking suspicion that since we confit these potatoes, that they'll be fine in the refrigerator for at least several days. Now, since there is already loads of oil involved in this, I wanted to see if I could use the air fryer to create a similar result. I first tried 425 degrees for 15 minutes. In the meantime, I whipped up a quick aioli for dipping, which you can learn how to do here. Okay. Moment of truth. I guess I should have tried it solo. Oh, hot. Oh, hot. Hot, 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 hot. The verdict, I feel like this could be crispier. But it does taste very good. So we tried the air fryer again, this time on 375 for 30 minutes. That may be a little overcooked. I think maybe I could have pulled them a couple minutes earlier. Conclusion, it was time to shallow fry. My smaller cast iron pan was great for this. It did not require so much oil. You want the oil to come up about halfway on the sides and cook until golden brown on each side. Hopefully I let them cool enough this time. Holy 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 Wow. There's no contest. This is so good. And please give this video a thumbs up because these potatoes came out so beautiful and they deserve some praise. This is the money. So that concludes part 1. If you subscribe, hit the bell notification, you will be notified when I upload new videos. I am only reminding you so that you do not miss part 2. If you follow me on Instagram, you will be reminded there as well. I am not a religious person, but I would join the church of these potatoes. Okay, we'll talk. Bye. This is so good.
Yes. Are these like street legal? You need a permit for these?